When Sukumar suddenly made a video call, the children were overjoyed and started talking to him, eagerly requesting him to come home soon. When Sukumar told Sumita, "I am tired of living alone. I am taking a week off and coming home. I have also sent a letter to the head office requesting an early transfer." Sumita replied, "Wow, that's great news. I have been feeling very troubled lately." After hanging up, Sumita breathed a sign of relief. The wall of suspicion that had been clouding her mind also crumbled. It has been almost a year since Sukumar was transferred, but for the past 6 months, Sumita has been feeling uneasy. He no longer talks to her daily as he used to, and he also reduced his visits during holidays. He always has the excuse of being too busy with work. Now Sumita feels she made the wrong decision. We have a 5-year-old son, and his admission to a good school has become the reason for me staying here alone. But is it wise to live here alone just for his education? Lately, there have been frequent complaints from his school. Our younger daughter is going to play school, but it's becoming difficult to manage her too. One day, the school in charge called me for a meeting and interrogated me as if I were a criminal. When she found out that my husband doesn't live with us and is posted elsewhere, she said that my son's irritability and destructive behavior might be due to this. She advised me to try living together as a family. When Sumita told Sukumar about their son and the school's concern over the phone, he said, "Oh, these are just the antics of big schools. The child is growing up, so some behavioral changes are natural. Just pay a little extra attention to him." He said it so casually, but the life he was living in the town, blooming like a flower, was something he could not share with anyone at home. For the first time in his life, he was doing what he wanted. Until now, everything had gone according to his father's wishes. His studies, competitive exam preparation, and even his marriage. Such a big decision of his life was made without his consent. His marriage felt like an uninvited guest. His dreams of past 5 or 6 years were shattered. Since his college days, Sukumar had secretly loved his friend Snehalata. Back then, they spent every moment together. He affectionately called her Lata. Their friends were aware of their closeness and often advised them to get married. Sneha was also focused on building her career at that time. Sukumar thought he would inform his family once he was settled in his job, but his father didn't give him a chance. As soon as Sukumar got his job, his father arranged his marriage with a girl from a well-to-do family. The dowry was so substantial that it could settle the marriages of his two sisters. Sukumar expressed his displeasure to his father at the time. He asked his mother to convince his father, but she dismissed his concerns, citing the responsibility of marrying off his 3 sisters. For Sukumar, marriage came like an uninvited guest. He had to forget his first love and move on with life. In 6 years of marriage, they had 2 lovely children. Since their marriage, Sumita felt that Sukumar never opened up to her. He took care of her needs, but she never felt his affection or love. Once, she even tried to ask her younger sister-in-law about it, who said, "Bhabhi, don't even think like that. Bhaiya is very simple and straightforward. He loves you a lot." Sumita also thought that since theirs wasn't a love marriage but an arranged one, love would grow gradually. When Sukumar was transferred, it felt like he had hit the jackpot. One day, he unexpectedly ran into Snehalata at the bank where she worked. After meeting a couple of times, he learned that Lata was still unmarried. Sukumar felt guilty, wondering if he was responsible for her situation. They started spending evenings together. Even during holidays, instead of visiting his wife and children, he would go out with Lata. It felt like his old days had returned. Nowadays, he hardly remembered his wife or children. All that he could think about was Lata. For Lata, it was different. She enjoyed his company but used her brain along with her heart. She hadn't married yet because she was responsible for her 2 younger siblings. Her father was no more and she was the eldest in the family. She realized Sukumar felt guilty, but what was in it for her to reduce his guilt? She no longer trusted men. One day, during a conversation, Sukumar told her, I don't want to lose you now. I want to spend my whole life with you. To this, Lata replied bluntly, if you want to stay together, we will have to get married. And that will only happen if you divorce your first wife. The word divorce brought Sukumar crashing down from his dream world. He immediately turned to his quarters. Suddenly, he felt a sense of attachment to Sumita. He realized that despite being educated and coming from a wealthy family, she never showed any arrogance. She thought about everyone and completed all tasks without being asked. His parents never tired of praising her, but he had never given her the love she deserved. And what fault was it of the children? No, he could not get a divorce. And when he immediately made a video call to inform his wife and children about coming home, it truly felt like the roses blooming outside were smiling.